Gang, philsgang.com, so that we can take care of you. philsgang.com.
Go to philsgang.com or give us a call at 877-600-4264. The stocks discussed on Phil's Gang are not in any way a recommendation or solicitation to buy, sell, or hold. If considering acting on information presented, we first recommend you seek out a competent, licensed professional for advice. Get ready for the radio show that tells you what Wall Street doesn't want you to know.
Oh, I'm a money magnet. Money's coming to me. Money sets me free. I'm a money magnet. Money's coming to me.
It's your daily dose of how to manage your money. And now it's time for Phil's Gang on the Off the Wall Street Radio Network. With your host, Phil Grande.
Oil's been coming down, obviously, for some time. These companies have been going through that painful cycle of watching it happen. Why was the time right now to lower the ratings and not earlier?
Well, we certainly didn't want to jump the gun. In our view, we have some confidence that oil is going to be low for some time, given the supply overhang. So this is our second price cut in terms of our price deck in the last 6 months. So I feel like we have taken a measured approach to it.
Boy, a little stuttering there. The question was simple. If your prices or your stocks of your company are dropping, why now? And why are you now lowering the prices of lowering the estimates rather? You're downgrading now. And same thing with oil. Why are you downgrading it? Isn't it a little bit late? I would think so. Here, give you an example. Let's talk about Shell. You start downgrading it now. Wait a minute. If that was one of the stocks you followed, and you were a gang member, that was one of your 5 that you follow all the time, well, guess what? You would have identified that the institutions were pulling their money out of that stock, Shell, oil. We had a severe sell signal on October 23, 2015. So let's think about that. And it dropped to $35. So from $54 to $35. So so that's 35%. So 35% drop. So that means if you were a gang member and that was one of your 5 stocks, that's the return you would have had because you would have gotten that sell signal. So the question is, they're just downgrading it now. It goes down 25, 35%. Why now? Here's what he didn't tell. He didn't tell the truth. Because the institutions have to get all their buddies out first. That's why they tell you to cost average down. This is the terrible thing about the stock market when you don't know what you're doing. How many times did you ever call your broker, your manager, whoever, and you said, what should we do? What should we do? And what would they say to you?
You're fine. You don't pay attention to the value of your house every day. Don't pay attention to your portfolio every day. Have a good, sound plan so you can go on and enjoy life.
Now, why do they tell you that? Oh, just stay in. Or worse, cost average down. That's the worst one. Buy more of it. Because I told you over and over, they get paid on the size of the fund, not on productivity, not on what they make for you, not on performance. So here's what they do. So let's take J.P. Morgan. So J.P. Morgan represents the unions. Let's say all the fire department unions through New York. Now, they got them into Shell Oil, let's say at $40. So it goes from 40 up to, say, $55. They know, okay, J.P. Morgan knows that the price of this stock is going to go down. How do they know? Well, because all of the institutions, all of the banksters, they work together. That's their job. They work together. J.P. Morgan, Goldman Sachs, Citi, Bank of America, Wells Fargo, these gangsters all work together. So they all know when they're taking the money out, they're putting the money in. They make the markets, called market makers. Did anybody see Madoff last night? Wasn't that terrific? We're going to talk a little bit about that later on, but wasn't that terrific? He was a market maker. So that's what these guys do. They make markets. So the question was, well, why didn't you downgrade these stocks earlier, like Shell? Well, because when they've got to get them out, if they made 20% returns on the way up, to get them out, if everybody got out at the same time, the stock would go from, let's say, $54 down to $0. So what they do is they get them out, and they will start painting the tape. They'll start telling the retail customers, hey, start buying Shell right now. They're doing more explorations. They're doing this. Buy more. So while the retail customer comes in and buys more, the J.P. Morgan is getting the fire department, the union, out. So by having you come in and buy, the retail customer, you're holding up that price while they continue to get their union out of that stock. And as the stock keeps going down, they're telling you cost average down. Or I just played this cut. They're telling you, oh, just sit back, enjoy life, don't worry about it. Now, when it gets all the way down, so they keep the buy order in at, let's say, $55, okay? They keep it as a strong buy at 55. It goes down, it has a strong buy at 52. It goes down, they still don't change it, a strong buy at 47. So they can tell the retail customer, and they send out the letters to you and notices to you, and this company's doing that, this company's doing this and that, and you better buy BP, you better buy Shell, whatever. And you keep buying because you're getting, they call it painting the tape. Everybody's telling you the buys. There's some new explorations going on or something. So as the stock keeps going down, now it's from 56 down to 53, you're buying more of it. You're buying more of it all the way down. Now it's down to 42. It went from 56 down to 42. Now, all of a sudden, when it gets down to, let's say, $35, they got their clients out. So J.P. Morgan got the fire department, the union fire department, out. They're out now. Now, remember, they still have a strong buy-in. So they're changing the strong buy at $35 to a sell. Instead of doing the sell order at 55 or 53 or 50 or 47, they kept a strong buy order in at 53, 50, and 47 and 44. Instead of putting in a sell order, they wait and put the sell order in at, let's say, 37. Why then? Because they want to scare whoever's still in. They want to scare them out. They change it to a sell order at 37, scare the people out. Anybody who's still in there that's thinking of getting out, they want to get them out. So they're going to come in and start buying. So they change the recommendation from a strong sell, a strong buy, to a strong sell at 37. Everybody gets scared and gets out, and then they start buying again. J.P. Morgan will start buying again for their client, the fire department of New York and New Jersey, start buying for their unions, the stock again, when it has a strong sell. Because they look at the book, they contact a guy on the floor, he's called a specialist, and they ask the guy on the floor, J.P. Morgan asked the guy on the floor, are all the sell orders gone now? Are they all gone? Because we don't want to take any risk. And he says, sure, they're all gone. But the guy on the floor called the specialist, he wants a favor for giving J.P. Morgan that information that all of the sellers are gone, and it's safe for J.P. Morgan to come in and start selling stocks to the fire department again. He wants something in return. He says to the guy at J.P. Morgan, when are you going to pump the stock? When are you going to paint the tape? Put some announcement out. When you tell me that, and I'll tell you when all the sellers are gone. Okay, deal. So the specialist, the market maker, he has his book on the floor, and now he cut a deal. So he is going to be told by J.P. Morgan when they're going to goose the stock up. He'll know that before it happens. And for that favor, he's going to now tell J.P. Morgan, okay, it's safe. You can start buying now. So they put on another sell order while they buy to scare people out. This guy's a liar. We'll be right back after this break here on Phil's Gang.
Want more information on this show? Go to philsgang.com or give them a call at 877-600-GANG.
Hi, I'm Phil Grande at philsgang.com. Now, we know that stocks go up, but they also go down. We applaud when they go down. Why? Because they go down much faster than they go up. But we've been told for years, do not short stocks because it's dangerous. That's a bunch of nonsense. They tell you that because they don't want you selling your stock because your managers get paid on the size of the fund. And if you sell your stock short, the fund goes down and they make less money. Don't believe it. You got to learn how to sell stock short because we are always in a bubble. And when we get on the backside of the bubble, you got to learn how to make money selling short so you can retire. I'm going to introduce you to shorting. It's going to be 1 to 3 p.m., February 13th. It's only $70, and it's archived for 2 weeks in case you can't make it. It's going to be one of the best things you ever learned. Sign up now, philsgang.com, for my live shorting webinar.
Go to philsgang.com or give us a call at 877-600-4264.
Hi, I'm Phil Grande at philsgang.com, and I have a special invitation for you. That's right. Saturday, February 13th, I'm going to extend to 85 people, the first 85 people, to attend my live shorting webinar. That's February 13th, 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. Eastern. And if you can't make it, it's archived for 2 weeks. It's only going to be $70. And this is where you're going to learn how to sell stocks short. So you can make money as stocks go down, as stock markets sell off. You need to know how to sell short. So attend my live shorting webinar. That's Saturday, February 13th, 1 to 3 p.m. Eastern Time. Only $70. That's it, $70. And you're going to learn how to short. And as I said, if you can't make it, it's archived for 2 weeks. And the 2 weeks is terrific because you can keep looking at it, share it with your family. It's a great opportunity. Again, only $70. philsgang.com.
Go to philsgang.com or give us a call at 877-600-4264.
Hi, I'm Phil Grande of philsgang.com. You know, everybody, the Hot Stocks Apple or Google, whatever it is, it doesn't matter. What people don't understand is every stock is the same. If the institutions buy it, it goes up. If they don't, it goes down. It doesn't matter the name. That's why we use charts to identify money in, money out. Join my gang, philsgang.com.
Go to philsgang.com or give us a call at 877-600-4264.
Hi, I'm Phil Grande at philsgang.com. We're hitting a new year, and you should, at the same time, come in with a new attitude, a new philosophy that you're going to make money when the stock market goes down. That's right. This is the third bubble, and you don't think it's going to crash? The first bubble did. The dot-com, the second bubble, the housing and financial con. Why do you think the third bubble, which is twice as big as the two previous bubbles, is any different? It's not different. Matter of fact, it's worse. It's going to go down faster. The stock market is going to go down 50%. You're going to lose 50% of the money you have in the stock market. You're going to lose 45% of the equity you have in your home. You're going to lose 30% of the money you have in your savings. Yes, you are. Trust me. Join my gang, Phil's gang, so that we can show you how to benefit, how to profit. But you can't just sit there and own a stock. You got to learn how to short the market. Join my gang. Learn how to short. philsgang.com.
Go to philsgang.com or give us a call at 877-600-4264.
Hi, I'm Phil Grande of philsgang.com. I want to extend an invitation to 85 people. That's right, the first 85 people can come to my live shorting webinar. I'm going to hold it on February 13th, 1 to 3 p.m. It's only $70, and it's archived for 2 weeks in case you can't make it. Learn how to sell short. Sign up now for my live shorting webinar, February 13th. See you on the chart.
Go to philsgang.com or give us a call at 877-600-4264.
Hi, my name is Phil Grande at philsgang.com. I'm going to tell you something about your 401k that you don't know. You know the 401k is a tax code? That's what it is. Here's how it worked. In the 80s, you had pension funds, but they decided to give their CEOs a benefit on top of the pension. It was called 401k. That was to shelter their income. That way they could keep the CEOs because it was very competitive. But when all the jobs were shipped overseas, they no longer could keep pension funds. Too expensive. So they shifted all their employees to a 401k, duping you thinking it was a good deal. But what they did is they charged hidden fees, which amount to about $250 billion a day, that they gave to lobbyists to go to Washington to make sure that this 401k would never be transparent. Here's what came of it.
Responsibility begins and ends with our partners and our shareholders, and that's it.
That's right. So join my gang, philsgang.com.
Go to philsgang.com or give us a call at 877-600-4264. Put your money to work. Make your investments pay. Listen to Phil Grande at philsgang.com. Now, here's Phil.
Hi, I'm Phil Grande of philsgang.com. I want to extend an invitation to 85 people. That's right, the first 85 people can come to my live shorting webinar. I'm going to hold it on February 13th, 1 to 3 p.m. It's only $70, and it's archived for 2 weeks in case you can't make it. Learn how to sell short. Sign up now for my live shorting webinar, February 13th. See you on the chart.
Go to philsgang.com or give us a call at 877-600-4264.
That you say you expect the U.S. economy to grow at an above-trend 2% rate, that the Fed is likely to hike more than the market is pricing in, that investors are going to be shocked. What gives you that view?
So the U.S. economy, even though we've seen signs of slowing down, is going to grow at 2%.
So here we have, they're coming out today, PIMCO, the king of bonds, saying, oh, everybody's wrong in buying bonds. See, everybody's buying bonds right now because you got to understand what's going on. Bonds it gives you the message, a direct message from the market when the economy is getting worse. When the economy is getting worse, there's nothing better than look at the bond market. You look at the 10-year yield, and when that yield goes down, it's telling you the economy is getting worse. It means we're not growing. And it's always spot on. It's never wrong, but they manipulate it. CNBC manipulates it. They always manipulate it because it's never wrong. So when it's going down, they don't want you to stop buying stocks. So it's manipulated. We'll talk about that. And that's why you've got to learn how to make money when a market goes down. The idea of thinking you can sit back, someone's going to make money for you by buying stocks. That's it. Only buying stocks, not selling stocks. That makes no sense at all. It doesn't. And that's why it's so important. And that's why I'm going to invite just 85 people to a special shorting webinar. You don't have to be a gang member. You don't have to know anything about stocks. I'm going to do 2 straight hours to introduce you to the life of shorting. Why? Without shorting, you can't make it. You can't. Nobody's that good that can just buy a stock. Think about it. You give somebody $100,000, you've already lost half of that money. You lost 50%. Think about common sense. If you give somebody $100,000, and I give somebody $100,000, well, here's the difference. You're giving somebody $100,000. Say, look, do the best you can. I want to retire. I want to retire in 15 years. See what kind of money you can make for me on that $100,000. But you're handicapped now. You only can make money when stocks go up. You got to find stocks when they're going up. When the stock market's crashing, the stock market's bad, and when the bond market's going down, and the 10-year treasury yield's going down, and telling all the professionals don't buy stocks, you got to go out there like finding like a needle in a haystack. You got to find that one stock that's going up. The guy I give the $100,000 to, I say, look, I want you to do 2 things for me. I want you to relax. When the market goes down, I want you to be shorting and go with the trend. When the market goes up, I want you to go with the trend. I want to make money both on the way up and the way down. I want to follow the trend because the trend is always right. The trend is your friend. It's the flow of money. Follow the flow of money of the big companies for me. Who do you think is going to make money? Me or the other person who said, no, I want to handicap you. I want to handicap you. You only make money for me when you find no stocks going up. It's so important if you're going to retire. Look, I keep telling you every day when these stupid 401ks that we got duped into a 2% fee. A 2% fee sounds like nothing. But 2% in the 401k, the 2% fee wipes out 65% of your savings. So let me give you this. You don't have to be a gang member. And now, if you can't make it on Saturday, February 13th, from 1 to 3 p.m. You got it archived for 2 weeks. You got it for 2 weeks. It's going to be the best thing you ever did. Learn how to make money when the market goes down. At least know, even if you're in a 401k, wouldn't you want to know when it's going to go down so you can do something? When you had the dot-com crash and the housing crash, wouldn't you have loved to know the signal and say, gee, he's right, the market's going down. Like on May 29th, I told everybody that was the beginning. I said, this is the beginning of the crash, May 29th. And I said, everybody remember this date. Everybody remember this date. Well, how did I know? Because you watch the charts. Because, see, it's the smart money that knows. You follow them. They take their money out. They put their money in. Let's talk about this. Let's talk about the bond for a minute. So everybody says we have a great economy. Really? In January, the layoffs have surged. The highest level since July. But nobody's telling you that, are they? No. Nobody's telling you that. We've had 73,114 planned job cuts since just 1 month. That's right, 1 month. Can you believe that? And they're telling us the economy's doing well. The economy's doing well. That is absolutely crazy. They just continue to lie to us over and over and over. So U.S.-based companies announced 75,000 planned job cuts last month. That's up more than 200% from 15 years ago. Are you kidding? 200%. It's up 200%. This is crazy. Retailers, remember everybody on CNBC was, oh boy, look at this. The holiday sales were up. They're up by 8%. Really? Well, guess what? That sector's the worst. They're slashing even more jobs. Even more jobs. Walmart, the largest retailer, shutting 269 stores, 16,000 workers. Macy's, they're cutting right now 4,820 people. Why? Because companies have to cut. Because the economy is getting... Now, who tells us that? How do we know the economy? Because you look at the bond market. It's something you should do. And I'm going to show you how to do this on Saturday, next Saturday, not this coming Saturday, following Saturday. I'm going to show you how to do this. That you can look. A simple bond, 10-year bond, you track it. It's never wrong. And it tells you the growth of the economy. And I'm going to talk a little bit more about that when we get back. How just looking at that 10-year bond can save you. It can save you. We'll be right back. Remember, you don't have to be a gang member. Sign up now. And you can call 877-600-GANG if you need some help.
Want more information on this show? Go to philsgang.com or give them a call at 877-600-GANG.
Hi, I'm Phil Grande at philsgang.com. Now, we know the stocks go up, but they also go down. We applaud when they go down. Why? Because they go down much faster than they go up. But we've been told for years, do not short stocks because it's dangerous. That's a bunch of nonsense. They tell you that because they don't want you selling your stock because your managers get paid on the size of the fund. And if you sell your stock short, the fund goes down and they make less money. Don't believe it. You got to learn how to sell stock short because we are always in a bubble. And when we get on the backside of the bubble, you got to learn how to make money selling short so you can retire. I'm going to introduce you to shorting. It's going to be 1 to 3 p.m., February 13th. It's only $70, and it's archived for 2 weeks in case you can't make it. It's going to be one of the best things you ever learned. Sign up now, philsgang.com, for my live shorting webinar.
Go to philsgang.com or give us a call at 877-600-4264.
Hi, I'm Phil Grande at philsgang.com. Do you ever notice they always tell you to buy, but they never tell you to sell? They never tell you to sell. Well, I'm going to help you. I'm going to help you understand. When you buy a stock, and if all you do is buy, and you never sell short to make money where they're going down, you have to be so good. That means you got to buy the companies that are always going up. Nobody's that good. Nobody could possibly be that good. You got to make money. Just like you make money when you buy a stock, you got to make money when a stock goes down. That's how you even the playing field. That's how professionals make money. They make money going up and make money going down, but they don't tell you that. They just want you to try to make money going up. They don't want you to make money going down because they make that money on you. Join my gang, Phil's Gang. Learn how to short stocks at philsgang.com.
Go to philsgang.com or give us a call at 877-600-4264.
Hi, I'm Phil Grande at philsgang.com. You ever notice they always tell you to buy, but they never tell you to sell? They never tell you to sell. Well, I'm going to help you. I'm going to help you understand. When you buy a stock, and if all you do is buy, and you never sell short to make money where they're going down, you have to be so good. That means you got to buy the companies that are always going up. Nobody's that good. Nobody could possibly be that good. You got to make money just like you make money when you buy a stock. You got to make money when a stock goes down. That's how you even the playing field. That's how professionals make money. They make money going up and make money going down, but they don't tell you that. They just want you to try to make money going up. They don't want you to make money going down because they make that money on you. Join my gang, Phil's Gang. Learn how to short stocks at philsgang.com.
Go to philsgang.com or give us a call at 877-600-4264.
Be sure to watch the Phil's Gang Show with Phil Grande, weekdays at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on various devices like smartphones, tablets, your computer, and more. Get free access to the Phil's Gang Show right in your hands at home or on the go. Simply go to philsgang.com. That's philsgang.com and click on the Listen Live link. And we'll see you on the charts.
Hi, my name is Phil Grande at philsgang.com. You know we're going to have not only a stock market crash in 2016, but a housing crash in 2016. Don't you like how they tell us the housing's in recovery and the market's in recovery and the economy's in recovery when it's not? It's in a bubble. Take housing. They loaned to a Wall Street firm called Blackstone. $7 billion. They buy 41,000 houses to go rent. Are you nuts? When they can't collect the rents anymore, those houses are going on the market and going to depress the real estate business by 30 or 40%. It's the same thing with stocks. They loan people money 600% more than they ever did before to buy stocks. That's all debt. And when the market goes down, they're going to have to dump those stocks to pay back that debt. And boy, will the market drop. Join my gang. Learn how to short. philsgang.com.
Go to philsgang.com or give us a call at 877-600-4264.
AMVA, and I've lost over 30K on it, but it had excellent earnings the last several quarters. And if they make the cameras and drone equipment, I don't know why it's so weak these days.
It's so weak these days because you don't pay attention to what they make. You don't care about their earnings. The problem is the institutions are pulling their money out, and that's all you need to know, and that's what we identify in the chart, and that's why I become a Phil's Gang member.
Go to philsgang.com or give us a call at 877-600-4264.
Say yeah, yeah, yeah. Say yeah, yeah, yeah.
Anybody who puts money in my pocket is my friend. And Phil Grande can do the same for you. Learn how to grow and invest your money. Here's Phil Grande.
Lives are going to be destroyed with this thing, and not just rich people. Little old ladies who thought they were investing in their future, their retirements, they're going to lose it. Charities. People who didn't even know that they were investing in this guy, they're going to lose everything. You're sure? I am sure. If I can get you a meeting with Grant Wood, you got to make a very clear, very convincing case, and it's got to be done very quickly. He's not a numbers guy. I know. So don't go in there with equations and all kinds of theories. Listen to me. I can handle this. So, plainly and simply put, one OTC at the money put would have a delta of 0.5, meaning that any drop in the OEX larger than a mere 1.1%, well, Madoff would have to buy options with high enough gamma to protect second derivatives against the drop in the first, which, as we all know, is absurd. Now, let's talk about Megatronic analysis of financial consortiums, which, when compounded...
Thank you, Mr. Markopoulos. I'll refer your findings to the appropriate person.
Okay, the Phil's Gang. There was a couple of cuts last night. I hope you saw it. This guy his name was Markopoulos, and he was the one that nailed Madoff right in the very beginning. And very bright guy, brilliant guy. He went to the SEC and he's trying to explain to them what's going on. And they didn't get it. They couldn't get it. They couldn't figure it out. So that's why they didn't prosecute him for years. This guy was a genius, and he kept staying on top of the SEC. These guys just didn't want to figure it out. It's just incredible. What a great... when Marta was watching with me, she said, that's still going on? I said, you kidding? It goes on with the banks every day. What Madoff is doing is going on with the banks every day. The problem with Madoff, he would never be in jail. If he was smart, he should have ran down the street and he should have got a charter, a bank charter. If he had a bank charter, he'd never be in jail. He'd be one of the there'd be 7 now. He'd be one of the 7 largest banks in the United States. Really, if he went and got a bank charter. But he didn't do it. It's amazing, isn't it? He would have been along with Bank of America, Wells Fargo, J.P. Morgan. They grew 80%. They grew 80% since 2009. How do you grow 80%? Doing what he did. And the interesting story was what he did was he would take your money, and he says he's trading stocks for you. But he didn't. He put the money in his account, in his bank account. Billions he had in his bank account. He never traded a stock. And then then they'd make up fake trades and send them out to you. What an amazing show. Because it's exactly what's going on today in the stock market every day, especially your mutual funds. And that's why it's so important to understand the bond market and what it does for you. Listen to the bond market, because the bond market will tell you the truth. The 10-year Treasury always tells the truth. When that yield starts dropping, it's telling you, hey, the economy has stopped growing. Pay attention. The economy has stopped growing. It's like a traffic light. It'll turn yellow, it'll turn red. It gives you a signal. It's very important. Unfortunately, our owners, the Federal Reserve, they'll rig the yields to say what they want them to say. So many times when you're watching the bond market, here, I'll give you an example. The bond market was going down, okay, starting in 2009. As the market started to go up from 2009, where we are today, it was all fake. It's all fake. The stock market was fake. It was rigged to go up 200%. But the bond market was telling us the truth. In 2009, the bond market was at 4.0. Then it dropped to 3.9. Then it dropped to 3.8. Then it dropped down to 2.8, 2.6, 2.2, 2.1, 1.8, where we are today. So all the way down, the bond market's been telling the truth, but the stock market was going up. So how can the bond market say the economy is contracting, but the stock market's going up? That's why you stay away from buying stocks based on fundamentals. You buy stocks by following the smart guys. You follow J.P. Morgan. You follow Bank of America. You follow Wells Fargo. You follow them. When they buy Caterpillar, you buy Caterpillar. Doesn't that make sense? Because they even rig the bond market. And here's what they do. When they don't rig the bond market, when the bond market's going down, what do they say to you? What do they tell you? We talked about this yesterday. Think about it. During this entire time, during this entire time, when the market was going up 200%, the bond market was going down. We had the lowest we had the lowest labor participation rate since 1955, the lowest home ownership since 1967, the lowest wages in 20 years. And by the way, the lowest wages, they do that on purpose. How do you think this country pays its debt? I'll talk about that in a moment. That's another thing. You are getting snowed when you hear, we're going to go out, we're going to create jobs, we're going to increase wages. No, they aren't. Republican or Democrat, the politicians, no. They want wages to be done. That's how they pay their debt. But going back to, again, when we were when our stock market was going up 200%, the economy, the fundamentals, as I said, were going down. Lowest participation rate, lowest home ownership rate, lowest wages in 20 years. Top line sales of companies, revenues, plunged. And when they plunged, it caused a 10-year low in factory orders. Why? People didn't have any money. People were getting laid off or going from full-time to part-time. But the bond market was telling us this. If you watch the bond market, it was telling us. But the stocks were being rigged to go up. And so because the factory orders were down to a 10-year low, manufacturing, industrial production, retail sales, household spending, disposable, most important. You know why durable goods is so important to look at that indicator? Because when you look at that indicator, that really identifies the health of the manufacturing sector, what we're really seeing. And right now, what are we seeing? A huge decline. Durable good orders are the lowest in 6 years. They dropped 5.1% just in December alone. But what are we always told? And we heard it again today. Oh, the consumer spending accounts for 70% of our economic growth. Oh, the consumer is spending. Don't worry. The economy is really good. Don't worry. That's why they never told you that manufacturing, industrial production, and retail sales and household spending, disposable income, durable goods are all declining. They never talked about it. They never talked about how many full-time jobs were lacking, how many jobs were turning to part-time jobs. They never told us that. Why? They didn't have to pay attention to it because all they knew is they rigged the market up 200%. You wouldn't think about it. You didn't care about it. But here's the problem. People are running into the bond market. Right now, everybody's running into the bond market outside the stock market. You're going to get killed again. You're going to get your face ripped off again because they're going to start moving the stocks back up again. Is what they'll do. It's amazing. So just like what we saw in Bernie Madoff, every day the banks control everything. The 6 largest banks control the market, what's going to go up, what's going to go down. Who controls them? The Federal Reserve. That's why it's so important for you to retire, to accumulate wealth. You've got to use something else than your 401k mutual fund or your planner. They're not there to make money for you. They're not. And you don't make money. But if you take just a little, just grab on a little bit. And that's why I want to show you, and I'm going to show you on Saturday, February 13th, 2 straight hours, how do you make money when the market goes down? And I hope you come to this. It's going to be archived for 2 weeks if you can't make it. It's something you really need. So the bond market, always keep that in mind. It will always tell you the truth. But the problem is that they continue. Our politicians, and the politicians work for Wall Street. They work for Wall Street. Our president works for Wall Street. The only one who's not going to be working for Wall Street is going to be Trump, because he's not going to be owned by them. He's not getting money from J.P. Morgan or Goldman Sachs or Wells Fargo to run. He's not getting paid to run. So at least he doesn't have to pay attention. Look, come to my website or join a gang or both. We'll see you on the charts. We'll be right back.
Want more information on this show? Go to philsgang.com or give them a call at 877-600-GANG.
Hi, I'm Phil Grande at philsgang.com, and I have a special invitation for you. That's right. Saturday, February 13th, I'm going to extend to 85 people, the first 85 people, to attend my live shorting webinar. That's February 13th, 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. Eastern. And if you can't make it, it's archived for 2 weeks. It's only going to be $70. And this is where you're going to learn how to sell stocks short. So you can make money as stocks go down, as stock markets sell off. You need to know how to sell short. So attend my live shorting webinar. That's Saturday, February 13th, 1 to 3 p.m. Eastern Time. Only $70. That's it, $70. And you're going to learn how to short. And as I said, if you can't make it, it's archived for 2 weeks. And the 2 weeks is terrific because you can keep looking at it, share it with your family. It's a great opportunity. Again, only $70. philsgang.com.
Go to philsgang.com or give us a call at 877-600-4264. There is only one talk show host, Phil Grande, who delivers both social and financial talk. Not even Hannity or Rush can deliver a 1-2 punch like that. That's Phil Grande, philsgang.com. Phil Grande is unique, the industry leader, the first talk show host ever to combine social issues and finance into winning stock market ideas. That's Phil Grande, philsgang.com. That's philsgang.com.
We're on our best 2-year job creation streak in 20 years.
What are you, nuts? Who'd believe that? Let me tell you the truth. First of all, the 292,000 jobs we got in December 2015, And they told us the unemployment rate is 5%. Not true. You can't trust these people on Wall Street. You can't trust the press. What they don't count is, in December, for example, the 615,000 discouraged workers. A discouraged worker is a person unemployed, gave up looking for work, but this administration does not count them as unemployed when calculating the 5% unemployment rate. Instead, they classify the discouraged as marginally attached to the labor force, but they're not considered part of the labor force or part of the unemployment. That's why you can't trust what they tell you. If we back into 625,000, the real unemployment rate is 12%, not 5%. That's why you got to join my gang, where you get the truth and where we use charts. Join the gang, philsgang.com.
Go to philsgang.com or give us a call at 877-600-4264. What is Phil's Gang? Philsgang.com is a subscription website service that host Phil Grande has been teaching and providing daily stock investment recommendations for over 15 years, all in the name of making its customers educated investors and helping the kids at St. Jude's Children's Hospital. If you want to take charge of your financial future, then do not wait any longer. For only $49.95, become a Phil's Gang member today. Go to philsgang.com or call 877-600-GANG. That's 877-600-4264.
Hi, my name is Phil Grande, philsgang.com. The 401k big lie. They tell you invest $10,000 a year for 30 years, compounded at 6% annually. You will have a grand total of $245,000 to retire. That is not true. That is not the truth. What they don't tell you is the hidden fees. There's 27 hidden fees in your 401k. When you're all done, you lose half of what you put aside for your retirement. That's right, half. And another thing, you're not allowed to do individual stocks in a mutual fund. And you're not allowed to make money when stocks go down. That's ridiculous. Would you buy a car with just forward and no reverse? Why would you ever be in a fund that you can't make money when the stock market goes down? Join my gang, philsgang.com.
Go to philsgang.com or give us a call at 877-600-4264. Listen to Phil Grande and check out philsgang.com. Now, here's Phil.
That you say you expect the U.S. economy to grow at an above-trend 2% rate, that the Fed is likely to hike more than the market is pricing in, that investors are going to be shocked. What gives you that view?
Okay, welcome back to Phil's Gang. So, right now, this guy comes on CNBC and he says they're going to rally the market, okay, and that you're crazy to be buying bonds right now, and he's probably right, because here's what he knows. Just like I gave you and I gave my gang, these bonds are going down. When they go down, it's absolute truth. You can put it in stone that the economy is contracting, but the stock market, instead of contracting, rallied because it was stimulated by all kinds of game playing. Right? They even had EBITDA. And what is that? To make the market go up, they decided to play games with the accounting. So that with EBITDA, they didn't have to, the companies, to make sure their numbers were better. They made sure, they said, look, you don't have to take out as expense as interest anymore. Wow. Can you imagine if you own a business and you didn't have to count interest as an expense, or amortization as an expense, or depreciation as an expense? Imagine what your statements look like. But when you're a public company, your stock goes up. So this is all the stuff they do. So to create wealth, you got to be in a position, none of that matters, meaning whether the market goes down or the market goes up, none of it matters. You got to be in that position. I will put you in that position. Join my gang, Phil's Gang. And by the way, you don't have to be a gang member to come to my webinar February 13th. Okay, it's $70. You're going to learn how to short. You don't have to be a gang member, but I'm telling you, you're going to love it. You're going to love it. Now, let's talk for a moment. We talk about how the Federal Reserve and the banks control everything. They control whether the bonds go up or down. They control everything, and that's why you got to learn how to make money whether the market goes up or down, so it doesn't bother you. Like I said, how do you think J.P. Morgan and Wells Fargo and these banks grew 80% since 2009? How did they grow? By cheating. By cheating. Simple as that. Remember, a bubble, whether it's the dot-com bubble or the housing bubble, think how a bubble works. And we're always going to be in bubbles. And that's why you got to know how to make money going up or down. A bubble crisis is when debt outgrows the economy. We have too much debt growing faster than the economy. Now, that's caused by banks lending easy money like they're doing to the car dealers, like they're doing to the student loans. And as the money flows through the economic system, that in turn inflates prices. Remember the prices of homes going straight up? They knew what they were doing. They didn't care if the bubble was going to crash. They got bailed out. They knew they were going to get bailed out. The more banks lend, the higher the real estate prices go, or car prices go, or whatever. And it encourages the banksters to lend even more. So as mortgage debt services rise, more of the household income, my income, your income, is paid to the banksters. When the imbalance becomes too big, the bubble then bursts, like the dot-com and the housing bubble and the bubble we're in now, which I said on May 29th, it was the beginning of the stock market crash, because I knew this. Now, at the same time, I'm watching the bond market. But when the bond market's going down, but the stocks are going up, so what do? You know to follow the banks. Because if they're buying, the institutions are buying GE, I'm buying GE. If they're pulling their money out of GE and GE's going down, I'm going to short GE. That's why you got to know both sides of the transaction. So easy to do, especially today with the technology we have. The problem for the middle class, you and me, both Bush and Obama and their parties, they don't care about our needs. They regard our needs, what we need, as a liability. We're an obstacle to the profits for the mega banks. We're just a big obstacle. Really, that's what we are. And remember, these banks are the ones who paved the way to the White House for Bush and for Obama, not for Trump. But both Obama and Bush, remember, whoever is in the White House represents powerful interest groups. Mostly the banks. They're the first ones on the list. They don't represent you. They don't represent me as the American citizen. See, this is why Obama administration is always spitting on the Constitution. His administration is incredible. Consistently attacks the Constitution. He doesn't protect the citizens with the Constitution. He moves us out of the way for the banks, for the banking empire. And they benefit. A small segment of the population. We get rolled over for a small segment of the population, the 1 percentile. And they make a fortune with the banks. See, what politicians don't want you and me to know is the reason why wages are always low, why wages are always stagnant. Why are they the slowest and stagnant most stagnant in 20 years? Why? You think they could fix that? Trump will. Think about it. Why are wages, every time they say wages are the 20-year low, wages 20 years low, wages stay, people aren't getting overtime. Why? It's simple. Here's what they don't want you to know. Wages are stagnant for 20 years. It's on purpose. It's been designed because the United States can service its $19 trillion debt and its unfunded debt of another $200 trillion. That's how they service their debt, by making sure our wages are low and kept low. Simple. They just simply lower our wages in order to pay their creditors. So when Aunt B comes out from the Fed and says she's concerned about inflation, she has a target rate of 2%, all a lie. Her concerns aren't about inflation. She keeps telling us inflation. No, she don't care about inflation. She only cares about one thing, wages, keeping them down, keeping our pay down. They can pay their debt. They pay their debt. And the rich get richer, and we get poorer. To say she's concerned about inflation? Are you nuts? What are you, nuts? Of course she's not. It's unbelievable. So you have durable goods, which are the durable goods numbers are just dropping. I mean, just unbelievable. Nobody's buying TVs, washing machines, nothing else, but they'll come out and still tell us the consumers are doing terrific. Look, there's only one way you're going to create wealth is the stock market. But you got to know what you're doing. It's not hard. It's easy. I will show you. Join my gang. Just try it for a month. That's all. Why don't you come to my website? You don't have to be a gang member. Come to my webinar if you want, or do both. You got to have someone show you. Got to have here. Look, I'm not making this up. When I say, okay, my gang, and I'm not making any of this up. When we shorted Intel, we're down 17%. We got a 17% profit in shorting Intel. Schlumberger went down 23%. So that's a 23% profit. Now, I'm not saying each gang member made that money. I'm not saying that. That's where we identify the opportunity. These are our 5 stocks we do every day. And we said, okay, right here's the opportunity short. Now, where a gang member gets in, that's up to them. But this is the opportunity they get with the training they get. So easy, so simple, takes no time. Using a chart to identify that Goldman Sachs had a sell signal and it dropped 21%. Even if you got 10% of it, wouldn't that be terrific? That's what you're going to learn being a gang member. Or just come to my webinar on February 13th, archived for 2 weeks. It really is. It works. It works. Look at gold. Nobody was buying gold. You ask any of my gang members. It was on December 3rd. I said to my gang, you know what? 2016 is going to be the year for gold and the year for oil. Well, guess what? AU, we bought it at $7. It's up 43%. Again, I'm not saying every Phil's gang member's up 43%. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is AU is we have 5 stocks. But that's outside of the 5. That's one of our bonus stocks. We always look at AU for gold. Now, you can pick if you want GLD or you can put Newmont, whatever you want, ABX, GLD, whatever you want to do, or silver. But you just use my chart, my system. That's it. And because what matters at the end of the day is whether they rig the bond rates. All of a sudden, when the bond rates are going down, nobody cares. Nobody cares because they see the stock market going up. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. As long as the stock market keeps going up, people think things are good. Well, we're learning now that's been a lie. But this time, for my gang, it doesn't matter because they make money both ways. Look, join my gang or come to my webinar or do both. You don't have to be a gang member. Sign up now.
You have been listening to Phil's Gang with your host, Phil Grande, on the Off the Wall Street Radio Network. Off the Wall Street Radio Network. Remember to visit Phil's website at philsgang.com. That's philsgang.com. Or call the office, 877-600-4264. That's 877-600-4264.
It's up to me.